We're back with more from our 47th president, Donald J. Trump. But before he was a president, he was, of course, a business titan. But he's also a father. And as a father, he watched, as many of us did, in horror as the flash flooding unfolded in Texas. I asked him about the tragedy and about how his own family has shaped his path to the presidency. There's been this devastation down in Texas, and you've said that from the perspective of the federal government, every resource will be available to Texas.
Yeah.
There's been so much heartbreak, though. What is your message to the people who are suffering down there, to the parents of the young girls at the camp who were killed? What do you want to say as their president?
Well, there can be nothing worse, losing a child to start off with. And the way this happened, there was very early warning. They warned a day before. They warned even 2 days before. They warned 4 hours before. Maybe they should have had bells or something go off. But it's pretty dangerous territory when you think of all the times that they've had this problem. They were given a lot of warning, but it was late at night and people were sleeping. Some people heard the warning and they got out. They were able to get to higher land, but boy, when you hear this wave that was up to 30 feet high just came roaring through that valley, it's just a very sad thing. And I look at the parents, they're like devastated. They're devastated. And they still think there's hope and this and that, but boy, there's nothing tougher than that. Tragedy. You see so much of it when you're president. You see so many things happen, so sad, and you take it differently because, you know, you're in charge of a country and you want nothing bad to happen. And that's not the way life goes, unfortunately, but so sad to see this one in particular because so many young, beautiful young kids, mostly girls, they were just killed, and counselors were killed. One of them was a powerful guy, and, you know, compared to the power of nature, nobody's powerful, really nobody's powerful. But we're working with Texas, we're working with a great governor. Greg Abbott's doing a great job. Christie is doing incredibly. And they were there right away, immediately, and we gave them all the money, all the help that they can possibly use. And but you know, you can't say things will be great because to have that kind of death is so sad to see.
How important has family been to you? And I mean, I'm going to say the last 10 years in all of this.
Well, like your husband is great. I mean, he's great. Whether he was my son or whether he was an executive, you can't hire anybody like him. He's so good. And he runs the business, and Don helps run the business, and Ivanka is doing a lot of things. She's an amazing person, and she's a little bit involved, a little bit, you know, when they want words of wisdom or whatever. She's you know, she did a very good job here. All she wanted to, she could have had any job. She said, no, Daddy, I really, and she got hundreds of thousands of jobs for people. She'd go around, worked hard, never got credit for it, but she'd go out and she'd go to Walmart, she'd go to ExxonMobil, she'd go to all these big companies, and she'd get people jobs by the thousands. So he'd get, you know, just added up to, I mean, I could tell you what the number is, but I don't want to say because nobody would believe it. But she worked hard and so competent, and she did a great job. Never, if I were a Democrat, she would have been a legend. You all would have been legends, but I think you're legends anyway, if you think about it. You wouldn't be doing any better. Now it's somehow there's a different mindset, but the kids have been amazing. I have really, really good kids.
Well, you seem to have a knack for putting people around you who are successful and make you even more successful. I think this has been sort of a trait of yours your entire life. If you go back to the Trump organization, you gave people opportunities that maybe they would never have taken themselves. And I feel like you've often seen things in people that they don't even see in themselves as well.
Especially women.
You did it for me.
Well,
I would say that for me as well.
But a lot of women.
Your cabinet is comprised of so many incredible people, and people that even a year ago, so many would never have imagined, like RFK Jr., who a year ago was running for president as a Democrat. Why do you think you have this ability? And I feel like
it has really been to your benefit. Look at this incredible cabinet you've put together. They're all people who are working to make America great again.
They've been incredible, actually. The cabinet's been incredible. And I had a lot of good people in my first term. But again, I came here, I had never done it before, and I'm picking people that I never heard of. And I'm taking recommendations of, people that were sort of stupid people, like a John Bolton, he's a stupid guy, or Jesper, who was terrible. I mean, he was terrible. But I took some recommendation. But overall, I got it right. I mean, we rebuilt our military. We did so many great things. But I now know the people. I know so well. I know them better than anybody. I spent 4 years with. Sometimes you hit and miss, and sometimes you don't. But we had great people the first time. But we have really good people this time, and they get along with each other. They love each other. They love the country, and it's smoother. I think it's smoother. We did. A lot of people thought my first term was phenomenal. I did. I thought, we got the largest tax cut in history, the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history by 4 times. Nobody even came close. We rebuilt our military. They gave some of it away to Afghanistan in one of the most embarrassing moments ever. But, we terminated ISIS. ISIS was 100% gone and terminated. They started making a little bit of a comeback since Biden got in, as you know, but they were gone, and we'll take care of it. But now we're doing things that maybe are on even a different level. Now it's been, especially this last couple of weeks, has been pretty amazing.
Some people have called you the bodyguard of Western civilization.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that title?
Well, I understand what they mean. It was going bad. We were going bad. This country was going bad. A lot of people were talking to China and others about getting involved because we were a dead country. We were gone. In the minds of many, I tell you, in my mind, one of the reasons I ran, I saw what was happening very early on. When I saw people pouring across our border, I said, no, put up that little, it would have taken three weeks to put up little sections of wall that we laid out because of legal reasons, condemnation reasons, different things. And because we wanted to bring our equipment back in through the wall, because we built hundreds of miles. And I said, why aren't they filling that in? It would have just been, then it would have been complete. In fact, I added a lot more. I built a lot more than I said I was going to build. I made it much longer. But I said, they want to have open borders. That was the first time I realized it. I didn't think it would be possible for anybody to want open borders because, who would want open borders? And open borders where people come in totally unvetted and unchecked, totally, just walk right in, walk right through. And some of the people, I know I want to be politically correct, but some of these people, you can look at them and you can say, these people are trouble. This is a rough group of people. And we're right now getting them out. And you know what? ICE and Border Patrol, Tom Holman, Christie's been amazing. Tom has been amazing. Tom was one of my first people that I put in. I said, you got to just do the border. He didn't want to do anything else. He just wanted to, because that's what he wants to do. But you have a big deal with lots of other things there. And I said, who'd be the best to head it up? Homeland Security. And he said, I'd like Christie Noem. And I said, that's great. Now, I knew her very well, but I didn't know her that way. She was a great governor, South Dakota, really did a good job. But boy, she's been great. And every one of I can't think of one who hasn't been at least very good. They've all been terrific, and it's been really good. But I think we get a lot of credit on the border because last month we had 0 people come into our country. We had people come in, but they had to come in legally. They come in through a process. We want people to come in. We need people because we have a booming business climate now, and the farmers need people, and hotels need people, et cetera. But coming in illegally, we had 0. Now, even I'm not sure that I can believe that number. You're talking about hundreds of thousands, millions of people came in through Biden, and they say 0. But, and the people that do the list tend to be a very liberal group, I will tell you, that have been there a long time. And I said, I'll accept it. But it was close to that number, I'll tell you what. They said 0, and I'm going to take it, but it's hard to believe that it's 0. You're talking about hundreds of miles of border. We've done a great job. And the problem with doing a great job that fast is people forget, you know. Last time I did a great job, we had a border problem, nothing like it was this time. But we had a border problem, and I solved it in about 4 weeks. And I'd make speeches and talk about the border, and my people would say, sir, you shouldn't even waste your time. Nobody wants to hear about the border. Now it's starting to be again. You don't hear about the border anymore. We did numbers that were unbelievable, and I almost can't talk about it because nobody wants to hear it. But it was a big problem. But we do have a different problem. We have to get the people out that came in that are really bad, because we have some bad people that came in.
Just to wrap up here, you're talking about people not remembering. I don't think anyone will ever forget President Donald J. Trump. But when history looks back on this time in our country, when history looks back on you, how would you like to be remembered?
A good person, but a person that saved our country. I really believed our country was going down for the fall. I don't know if it ever could have come back. It was very close to the edge. And I really would like to be known as the man that saved our country.
Well, I think you've started off on the right track there.
So far.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for sitting down with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Lara. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.